Sammy was a victim of that.
Mr. Wonderful closed on February 23, 1957, and Davis returned to Los Angeles. There, at a party at Tony Curtis's house, Sammy was introduced to actress Kim Novak.
And they must have had an instant chemistry, because that was Sammy's great love. Kim Novak was really his real deep love.
In some parts of the South, black men were being lynched for merely looking at white women. Even in Hollywood, a relationship between a white woman and a black man, regardless of their star power, was still taboo.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but why is it anyone's business what somebody else do with their time? Whether they are black, white, Asian, it should make a difference. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments.
So they saw each other secretly, and then word of them seeing each other began appearing in columns.
24-year-old Novak was being groomed by Columbia studio chief Harry Cohn to be a major star. The actress had just made a splash in Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo, and Cohn wasn't about to risk his property.
He had invested millions in Kim Novak, and he didn't want her dating a black man.
Harry Cohn was pretty well connected with the mob. He wanted him beaten up, break his knees, and maybe put out his other eye.
Davis was terrified. Through Cohn's wise guys, Sammy was advised to marry a black woman quickly. Cy Marsh was Davis's agent at the time.
Sammy realized how serious this was, so he went down the strip in Las Vegas, and there was a performer called Lorraine White, and she was a charming, delightful girl. And Sammy said, "Listen, how would you like to marry me?" And she said, "Are you kidding?" You know, naturally. And so he went ahead and he made arrangements with her marriage, and he paid her some money.
At least she was in on the con. I thought it was going to be some kind of thing where he married some woman and she did not know what was going on. I applaud him for that, for at least informing her.
Davis married Lorraine White in Las Vegas on January 10, 1958. The couple divorced within a year. In his 1965 autobiography, Davis confessed he began to drink during this period. Drinking wasn't Sammy's only excess. Producer George Schlatter observed Sammy's relationship with Frank Sinatra.
Frank was not good for Sammy in some ways because Sammy tried to be Frank. He tried to drink more, smoke more, stay up later, more women, more booze, more laughs, and Sammy was, you could not compete with Frank.
For Sammy, there was always an element of insecurity in the relationship. Davis's press agent, Jay Bernstein.
Sammy was always afraid that Frank Sinatra was going to do to him what he later really did to Peter Lawford, cut him off and never come back.
In 1959, Sammy's competitive nature got the best of him. Davis declared on a radio show that he was bigger than Sinatra. Retribution was swift and cold.
It offended Frank so much that Frank stopped speaking to him and didn't use him in the movie Never So Few that he was going to use him in. And Steve McQueen got that big break of the part that Sammy Davis Jr. was supposed to have.
Davis was shattered. But Sinatra...
10-minute comments. Do you think it was more about putting him back in his place? Or do you think it goes deeper than that?
Sinatra eventually warmed up to Sammy again. In 1960, Frank produced and starred in a heist comedy. The crooner offered Sammy a role as a garbage man.
Frank said, "There's going to be a part for you. I'm going to give you $100,000. He could have got him for 5 cents, but he paid him $100,000. He said, and Dean will be in it. We'll get Joey Bishop. Peter will be in it, and we're going to heist Las Vegas." That's the story of Ocean's 11.
Since they were shooting in Vegas, Sinatra suggested the group stay at the Sands and perform every night at the hotel's Copa room. And thus was born the Rat Pack.
Welcome to the Sands Hotel. As Vice President in charge of entertainment, I hereby officially welcome you to this saloon.
They wheeled out a room service cart full of booze, and they went up on stage, and they ad-libbed the show. There was no rehearsal.
All right, folks, put on your sheets and we'll start the meeting. Oh, come on.
They were gorgeous, they were in shape, they were young, they were romantic, they were talented, they could sing, they could dance, they were funny, and they loved each other.
Audiences went wild.
They were as big as the Beatles. They were, as a group, as big as Elvis Presley.
When was the last time you was cut by a colored fella? Would that make me Jewish?
So the routine was they would go to work on the picture, work all day on the picture, come back to the sands, take a nap, go into the steam room. By the time they finished with this show, they were so high, they were so excited and had such energy and such momentum going, they still didn't go to bed. So they'd go into the casino and Dean would deal. And Frank would be like the croupier and Sammy would be there and they would deal 21. And they'd say, okay, it's 18, hit it, and they'd give them a 7. 18, 25, we've got a winner. And they would pay off on hands that didn't win.
The Rat Pack inhabited a macho world of booze and broads, cigarettes and jokes, some of them at Sammy's expense.
So come on up here, you little color coat.
If Davis minded, he never let on. Dean Martin's daughter, Dina Martin.
Sammy, more so than all of them, was the one who worked the hardest to try and make it all work because he wanted to be part of it.
Sam! What? I didn't mean to move in the neighborhood.
I think Sammy used racism in the Rat Pack repertoire as much as anyone else did. I think there was no real sense of racism except as a theatrical pivot for those guys.
Tell me your thoughts about that in the comments. Do you think race was used equally by both, or do you think it was more at the expense of one over the other?
They would do all the jokes to me, and I loved being the butt of the jokes on screen and off, you know, because that was my image, and that's what I tried to maintain, the kid, you know.
I'd like to thank the NAACP for this wonderful trophy.
Now, if you understand why Dad and Frank could treat Sammy, when some would say in not a very nice way, you know, calling him Smokey, or I'd like to thank the NAACP for this award, things like that, is because they were all equal to themselves. They were friends.
I don't know about him. I think he really the African queen, Daddy. He must be.
And it wouldn't occur to them not to be able to joke with each other, you know, and to call Sammy whatever they wanted to. It never, ever entered their mind that he was anything other than their equal.
I think he's one of the greatest entertainers in the whole country, ladies and gentlemen.
By 1960 standards, the Rat Pack was positively radical.
Hey, you let us know. Let's not lose our heads about it. Yeah. I said he was the best in the country, and the city ain't too good.
Entertainer Ben Vereen.
Had he not been there, we wouldn't be able to say there was a brother in the Rat Pack. We'd say the Rat Pack was all, it was white. But no, he was there and representing quite brilliantly.
Let me know something in the comments. Do you think the jokes that we just heard, and I'm pretty sure that there was a lot more, do you think that they will stand up today? What do you think would happen if someone was to come out with an act using those exact same jokes today?
Coming up.
There was a lot of times we had to stay in the house just to be safe. I mean, there was death threats.
And later.
I was told that I was this close to having cirrhosis.
Please tell me your thoughts about this video in the comments. Be sure to like, share, watch more videos, and subscribe to the channel.